So the weekly registration numbers for past week of 3rd to 9th of July came in, and we can see that numbers are fairly good for Nio. Xpeng is still struggling. We can see that they are averaging still below 2000 now, so it's not that great, but Nio's average over the past 7 weeks is around essentially 5000 per week. Now there's a huge difference between, you know, the last week that was 6700, which was the all-time high, and this week at 3500. But I do believe that 3500 it's still a great number, you know, compared to last year where you had like dips from 4000 to even 1200. Now we have a dip from, let's say, 6700 to 3500. And I do think, like, usually what you see that Nio pushes out the cars in the last week of the month, and then the full first week of next month is usually a bit weaker. So my suspicion is that you're gonna see this number creep up more to 4,500 or even 5,000 next week already. We'll see about that. And then Li Auto is doing great as always. Can see also that Tesla did fairly good. Tesla is on the up there. You can see that Tesla is now at 12,000. So it looks fairly okay for Tesla. But yeah, and also BYD is usually in the league of their own. You can also see what this means for Nio. So May was all-time high. Now June is important because we already had, like, let's say 3500 now. And if you add to that the first 3 days of June from that 6700 number, which they delivered last week, that gives you, I don't know, let's say another 2500. So in the first 9 days of June, we could say that we are at 6500 cars for Nio. So I think that's good because we have more than 2/3 of the month left. So it would easily push us close to that 20,000 number. At the minimum, I would say 19,000, which would mean that we probably would get that 58,000 cars deliveries for Q2. And it also saves, you know, that the revenue will come in at, let's say, the higher upper end in their guidance that they gave in Q2's earnings in early June. And if the revenue comes in that kind of number, I do believe that the gross margin will go to, let's say, 9%, maybe 9.5%. And that's going to cut the net loss from, let's say, 700 million to around 550 million. So that's a good sign for Nio, because from there on, we're going to increase the volume with the added second brand, Onvo. And then also, I think this is interesting. So these graphs show, you know, the premium segment cars, including all, you know, even, let's say, gasoline-driven cars. Mercedes GLC is doing great. But you can see that on the top 10, 2 of them are Nios. And this is where I think most people are kind of underestimating Nio in a sense, because they only look at these kind of numbers, you know. You can see here the deliveries and think that especially compared to someone like Li Auto, is not that great. But yeah, Li Auto is working in, you know, hybrids with smaller sales price, so lower sales price, which means obviously you have higher volume. So I think, like, you know, the fact that Nio is, you know, way up compared to Xpeng with lower sales price, and, you know, fairly close enough to Li Auto, I think this points a great picture for Nio, especially with, you know, the data that we see like here. So yeah, this was just a quick update on Nio. I think I'm very happy with the results. Am I super excited with this week? No, I would have loved to see at least 4,200. But again, you know, 500 cars here and there is not important. The important thing is that the trend line over these past 7 weeks is around 5,000. And then one last update, you can see that still to this day, the lithium carbonate price is keeping this very low price. So this is good for margin for the entire EV market. And my suspicion is that if this holds and if the consumer becomes stronger, I think we will have the China CPI numbers today and also the inflation numbers in the United States. If 1 year from now, you know, the consumer is much stronger, you're gonna see the price of the electric cars go up, and that's gonna also affect the margins. So I do believe that, you know, next year it's not impossible to see at least Nio have 15% gross margin, 16% gross margin, and Tesla would probably have over 20, 25. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.